Welcome to a book club of unfortunate events, and I didn't plan that out well, so it looks great.
Say Lavi.
Lavi, or Lavi, yeah.
Lavi?
Say Lavi.
Laboratory. Okay.
Dee Dee, get out of my laboratory. uh, how are you, Kale?
I'm good. Today has been a good day. It's very warm where I am now. Oh, hi
Fine.
Zuki. Hi baby. Um um yeah, so I got distracted by the cat. I'm doing good.
Understandable.
How are you?
I'm doing good too. Um,
Excellent.
very excited. This was I'm excited to dive into this book because I didn't have to take much notes. I took notes when I in the first half of the book, and then I
Mhm.
realized those notes are the book. So
Great.
there's Austere Academy is such a fun book.
I've been
Um,
waiting for this one.
it's good. It is a pretty book. It is the one that comes in black, which is sick.
Hmm. Goth.
There's
Yeah.
yeah. Like that's just like that's one for reason number one why it's the coolest one out of all the different colors for all the books. This one gets the
Hmm.
black color.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. It's a fun little time. I think Olaf does a pretty good bit in this one,
Yeah.
and I like it. I can't talk about it more unless we go into it. So,
Right.
what
I'm
about you? Is this have you read books?
no, we just established I can't read. But
Mm.
yeah, I think I've made my stance clear that I've been looking forward to this book for since we started this project, and
Mm.
it's still one of my favorites. I feel like I say that every time where I'm like, yeah, this book is really good. Um,
This book is this series is one of our favorites. So kind of
the series, yeah. So me when the series I like is good, like shocking, I know.
cringe.
Um, did you say cringe?
Yeah, yeah, I did. Me when I like when
Gamer,
me
Gamers,
when
is it cringe to enjoy things? Is
kind of
it cringe to find beauty in the world that we live in and in art? Yeah.
risking the mass resisting the masculine urge to go back to 2005 and say that's gay. No, of course not. Beauty, feelings? Nah. I need beer, brats, and babes.
That shit's gay as fuck, man.
Ooh. Are we allowed to say that? Can we take it? We shouldn't take it back. We can leave it where it
What?
is. I don't know. Are we allowed to call
I'm
things gay
certainly
now?
allowed. I certainly am.
Oh, well, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, my friend Kale can say it, so I can say it. Is it cool if I
Yeah.
quote you on that?
No. I don't want anything in writing.
Okay.
Huh.
All right. Are we gonna? Oh, sorry.
So for chat, there's three main sections where we're gonna do a quick summary of the plot of the books. Odie and I have taken notes on the our feelings, our thoughts, our concerns, and we'll go into a discussion section, and then we have the orphan ranking last, which will kind of wrap up our thoughts on the book. So
Mhm.
that's the general what to look forward to.
Mhm. You did that so much faster than I did when I was like, all right, here's how the stream's gonna go, and then it took me a full minute.
It's okay.
You're so smart. You know what? You know the metric system. That's what you do.
Well, yeah. It's
Meta.
measure. Okay. Uh,
Oh, I
do
got nothing.
we
Mm-hmm.
do we
Oh,
want to get into the summary?
yeah. Let's go ahead.
Okay.
Um.
This is the part where I act like a fifth grader giving a book report. Um, so the Baudelaire orphans, Violet, Sunny, Klaus, are sent to a boarding school, which constantly reminds the students of death, with gravestone architecture and the school motto "Memento Mori." They meet the vice principal Nero, who is a violinist and just the fucking worst. And he forces them to live in the orphan shack. That's what it's called. Instead of the the school's boarding or like dormitories.
It's a boarding school.
Right. Their new living situation sucks. They have to put up with tiny crabs, ugly interior design, and fungus. But they meet the Quagmire triplets, Isadora and Duncan, and Isadora and Duncan also had to live in the orphan shack for a semester, and they helped the children, they helped the
It was
Baudelaire
a couple
children.
semesters, I think.
Yeah, I think like a year.
Yeah, something like
before.
that. They lived in a while.
Yeah, but they help the Baudelaire orphans improve their situation to be like almost bearable, and they become fast friends. And you know,
which is such a good thing to happen. Sorry.
Okay.
I'll shut up.
School is like okay for a little bit. And then Count Olaf shows up disguised as Coach Genghis, the new PE coach. Olaf starts making the Baudelaire orphans run laps all night, and this makes them so tired that they start to do poorly in their classes. And Nero informs them that if they continue to do poorly or fail this big test, that they'll be forced to leave the school and live with Coach Genghis. So the Quagmire triplets help them out by disguising as the Baudelaire orphans and running laps for them so that they have time to study and make staples. Sunny has to make staples because she's a baby and doesn't go to the school. So the Quagmire triplets help them out. The Baudelaire students end up passing the exam, but are removed from the school anyways because Principal Nero decides that they are cheating. And Count Olaf ends up abducting the two Quagmire triplets and gets away with them. And that's how the book ends.
It's a good time. And yeah, I think that's it because they don't say where they're going to next, right? It's just that like, they got expelled from school, and
Mr. Poe is there, but I didn't think that was important to add. I never do.
I think Mr. Poe did the most he's ever done in this book.
Right.
Which
he called the police, and then the police did nothing.
Yeah, but like he showed up and immediately was like, "Well, then show us the ankle." Like, which like is the only time I'm like, "Yeah, Mr. Poe gets it now," but because he's burned out.
Right.
So
he gets it a little bit. He's still not very like useful or helpful.
No, not at all. So, ooh, okay. So I think,
that's the wrong one.
I know. I thought I had updated it, but I guess I didn't fix it. There we go.
There we go.
Yeah,
that was right.
Yeah, I actually went and like buffed around the editor to like make it more transparent so that it would like sit better. There we go.
Yeah, it looks better on the black.
Thanks. Yeah, I think so too. Okay, so getting into more of the discussion-y parts. Wow, is there a lot to go over in this book? As we start to go into it, like now that I'm like it's the beginning of every time we record these, excuse me, I'm always like, I know nothing about this book. And then I have to remember how memory works, which is we just start talking about it. And then it comes up. First and foremost, cake sniffers. Cake sniffers unite.
Cake sniffers unite. Cake sniffing bros till we die.
I do not understand the cake sniffer like Carmelita Spatz, who was the girl in the little summary picture, is literally the worst.
Redhead bitch. Yeah.
She was red. They give her red hair in that?
Well.
Okay.
Here they did.
Yeah, no, that's fair. She just sucks. Like she's the epitome of the worst kid who just gets rewarded for cruelty. Oh, nice Dr. Pepper.
Yeah. I love Dr. Pepper. Anyways, I
love Dr. Pepper. Anyways.
We don't have to talk about it.
We can cut it. It's fine.
It's fine. Yeah. We'll edit this bit out. But I think Carmelita Spatz is just an awful little child, but I think in like a very realistic way where it's like she's clearly been spoiled her entire life, and that influences the way she sees the world, where she's like, yeah, I should get a tip for doing nothing.
For basically delivering a mess, like delivering a
Mhm.
message that nobody asked for.
That nobody asked for doing nothing.
Fucking ridiculous. She's the worst. Sorry, I'm like adjusting
Hmm.
something because it was bothering me. There we go. Yeah, she's that spoiled kid. You're exactly right. That she just enjoys being the worst and is the type of person where you try to like reverse logic them and they would literally like out stupid you,
Hmm.
for lack of a better term. Like they're just then you're not gonna win on this one. And you should. And that's fine.
Right. And it's just, she takes such obvious glee in kicking people while they're down. And it's like, because she coined the nickname Orphan Shack, which is such like a cruel twist of the knife to be like, your parents are dead and also your living situation sucks. I'm going to make fun of you for that.
Yeah, oh, when you really put it like that, it starts to hit me. Loop, yes, she is the kind of bitch that would become a landlord and demand the tenants tip her 100%,
Mm-hmm.
while not fixing anything.
100%. Right.
She's very the sheer level of cruelty I think was not registered when I was a kid first reading it. Like I always thought it was messed up, but like when you really start to think about it, it's like how is it that
It's
like
like,
even like the adults go along with that? Like that's so fucked up. And like the whole
mhm.
reason that they're in the orphan shack is because it's not because there aren't rooms, but because if you want to live in the dormitories,
Excuse
you have to
me.
have oh bless you.
Hmm. You have to have like a parental permission slip
Yeah,
signed, and it's
parent or
like, well, they
guardian.
don't have, yeah, and they don't have parents or guardians, so they can't get their shit signed.
Yay bureaucracy. I love it.
Yay.
It's that
And
ooh.
it's like, I do think a lot of, like, she gets to be a lot more cruel than, say, like, Olaf or Nero or, like, one of the teachers
Mhm.
do because she's a child. And it's like, well, she probably doesn't know what she's doing. She's like, what, 12, 13 at most? She doesn't have the context for understanding. So it's like, yes, I agree she's
Mhm.
spoiled and, like, horrifically cruel. But, like, some part of me hopes that in some future of Carmelita spat, although I think the narrator goes out to point out like Carmelita never gets any better than this,
Mhm.
or like something like to that
Yeah,
effect.
like
So
cause
like,
yeah, cause like the Lemony Snicket is technically writing all of this, like after going to these places, investigating. Like we're sort of reading like a biography esque of like in universe,
right.
like documentation of him tracking these kids, um, which we
And what
get
they went
Beatrice
through.
for.
We do. One of my notes
Again,
is Beatrice lore,
yeah, oh, okay.
um, which was very exciting.
Yeah, it all takes place in
Yeah.
hindsight. So like that's a very big theme throughout the books. If you're new here, is the like this is a bad story. This is the last good part of the story. If you do not want anything more bad to happen, stop reading it.
Right. And there's like moments in this book I think where it's like this is a very nice moment and it will not last. And so that kind of foreshadowing kind of colors the entire book, where it's like even in these like brighter, happier moments where like the Baudelaire children are talking with the Quagmire triplets, it's like you don't get to enjoy it while it lasts
No.
because you, the reader, and Lemony Snicket knows that this is not going to end well.
Yeah, like it's this fucked up like stitch in your stomach a little bit, like when you're running and you're like, ooh, but it's like, oh, it'll
Mhm.
go away, and it's like, will it go away? No, it just kind of aches worse and worse because you're like, it just gets worse. There is
Right.
no good, and like, oh man, I gotta be honest, I have so many thoughts and feelings, but I am unorganized on it. So, do you
Yeah,
do you want to like lead the discussion, and then if I have anything at the end, I'll throw it in that we didn't hit.
I'll do what I can.
Mhm.
Um,
It's a team effort, yes, of course, but at least backup.
yeah.
Yeah. Mhm.
Sorry, excuse me. I'm so excited to see the Quagmire triplets. I love them. I missed them. I've been waiting all 4 books to see
Mhm.
them, and now they're here, and they are just as good as I remember. It is so refreshing and like nice to not only see people who care about the Baudelaire orphans,
Mhm.
but like believe them unconditionally. Like Violet is like, that was Count Olaf, and they're like, oh fuck, that's Count Olaf. And there's
Oh
no
shit.
question about like
Mhm.
that is a bad guy who is doing bad things and that they need to help their friends in this situation. And that's so fucking refreshing
It
after 4 books of like, nah, he doesn't have the eye. And it's like,
like
it's just so nice for someone to be like, oh, okay,
it was
I believe
clear
you,
that
I trust
the
you.
yeah, the trust, that was the word I was going to use, is like is the first time that they have people that look at them and see them not as dollar signs or poor unfortunate misfortunate orphans, things to be pitied, like, oh, dismissed. It's no, I just see where you're at, like you say that's what's up, like, okay, yeah, you guys seem smart, so yeah, yeah, hot dog.
Right.
And like, oh god, they are adorable. The two of them are my favorite triplets in any media.
Mhm.
I wrote down in my notes, cake sniffing orphans in the orphan chat, cake sniffing, and then under that, chat, yeah, yeah, yeah. The
Yeah.
the Quagmire triplets with the notebooks, I wrote like in all caps because it's like
Yeah.
those notebooks are so good.
Those notebooks are so funny to me. It's so good.
And like they're just so dorky and adorable, and like so much of me wants to live in a world where the 5 of them just get to go and do their own thing.
Right. And it's another like bittersweet moment when they're um all in the orphan shack and like being like, well, maybe when we grow up we can start like a factory together that or like start a business together and we can all like live our dreams. And it's like,
Yeah.
yeah, that would be nice, wouldn't it, kids?
Mm-hmm. I really
That's how it happens, but
meta.
Mitch?
I've been saying that to myself for the past day. Like as I
Hmm.
was finishing it yesterday, I'm just Mecha, Mecha. Just from the audiobook, it was good.
Hmm.
But these kids not knowing what's gonna befall upon them is truly harrowing. But
Right.
the absolute, like, the clear parallel in the Baudelaire children and the Quagmire triplets, there are 2 of them. To be clear, they
Right.
have a third one named Quigley who died.
Yeah. I can't remember if he's like actually dead or
No,
if
he's
they
not.
just think he's dead. Okay. I
Yeah, I think
thought so.
they think he's dead, but he's not actually. I don't believe Quigley's dead. Which, spoiler
I
alert, Quigley. No, he's not dead because he's in the.
He's somewhere. But that's kind of how the Baudelaire orphans and the Quagmire triplets bond is they both lost their parents and
Slippery
um
slope.
yeah, okay. And the Quagmire triplets presumably lost their brother. And it's another very clear way to tell
Oh.
if people are be being like assholes or if they're like cool is whether or not they refer to Duncan and Isadora as triplets or as twins because they take great offense to being called twins because it implies like their brother never existed, which like hurts them deeply. And so they continue to call themselves triplets to like honor them. So it's like if they call them if like the Baudelaires call them triplets, Count Olaf does not. Like
Yeah,
that's
it's a
that kind of
that big thing, which like I think is a really cool way that it's this book came out in like 2000, I believe August of 2000, and the interesting through line to like being relevant in today's society because like some stuff ages well and some stuff does not, which is fun, like the
yeah.
Miserable Mill. But the like when the twins are, or sorry, when the Baudelaires are talking to them at lunch the first time, because we haven't even gotten into the school rules.
Right.
I could go on for hours about the school, just the concept of the school, but you're like, oh, like you guys are twins, and they're like, oh, they're kind of stuff like we're actually triplets, and you're right. From that moment on, they make a point, since they said, oh no, we're actually triplets. Listen to their explanation. We're like, well, that makes total sense. Like, yeah, you know, you guys had a triplet. You guys are still
Right.
triplets. It's just one of you guys isn't here. Like,
Yeah.
you know, we're triplets actually. You don't need to know that one's dead. He could just be sleeping. Who knows?
Yeah. He's just easy.
It's just eepy. But like people
He's just a
don't.
little
Nobody
eeper.
else like respects them about it with it, and I think that like can be very like the way that I kind of like put that in today's world is that that little bit of kindness is basically what people are really looking for with like I'm going to use this in quotes because it's not a problem, but people make it a problem is the pronoun debate.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like you just have to try. That's it. Like
Right. And it's like it's the same thing where it's like, well, it's not that big of a deal to like mess it up as long as you like correct yourself. It is a big
yeah,
deal to purposefully get it wrong to hurt someone's feelings.
correct.
And then
Yes.
yeah, Luke, these are kids' books.
Mm-hmm.
These are for children.
These are for children. They as a, I don't know, as a kid, it just felt I don't know. Kayla and I have talked about it in previous episodes. Because I don't know how personal we want to get on the first live one. But thank you for resubscribing, Jimmy. He appreciate it. Thank you for 21 months. But like there is a lot of that like as a kid, like you relate a lot to the Baudelaires. Like there is a Count Olaf in your life in some capacity.
Mm-hmm.
I say with my little VFD. Oh
Yeah.
God! Look at my foot. Oh,
Wow.
I've been walking.
Tan.
I know.
Yeah. All right, put your grippers away.
I know. Free footies.
I don't want to see that.
I know. I'm sorry. You said no feet. That was part of like the only rule that you said when you said you do this event with me. So I'm broken already.
Yeah, I have to go now.
Yeah. Good night. That's fair.
Yeah.
Well, it wasn't my toes. It was my ankle. But yeah. But yeah, they show the like yeah they are kids books and like these books aren't that long. Like you can absolutely
No, they're really short.
You
It's
can
like
read them in
3
a day.
hours. Yeah.
The audiobook
And
is
I
3
think
hours. Yeah.
yeah, that's
Oh, yeah. You read them on the audiobook first.
yeah, I read them on the audiobook
Right.
when I first read these books as a kid. It was through the audiobooks. But anyways, I feel like and again we've talked about this before, but like you get different things out of it reading it as a kid as opposed to like as someone like an adult with a little bit more experience and a little bit more like perspective where it's like as a kid it might be like yeah it's a little bit mean that they call it the orphan shack and as an adult you're like it's absolutely fucking unacceptable that Nero refers to it as the orphan shack.
Oh, 100%. Like
a person of authority mocking children for their trauma is evil.
Despicable. But
Yeah.
it's also like you expect nothing less because you can, as an adult, you see the adults and you're like, yeah, I can tell the exact type of person would be in a position of power like this because
Right.
they get to be in power over school. Like,
where it's like absolutely Nero is the kind of character to need to inflict his will over the people who are less powerful than him, and the only people who are less powerful than him are children.
Oh yeah. Oh God, he's Nero, Vice Principal Nero. Not even the principal, Vice Principal.
No, we never see the principal.
But yeah, I don't even know if there is one, since apparently the VP is the most important. You know,
right?
Well, they have the advanced computer system.
Yeah. They have a computer in the early 2000s. I guess it is pretty advanced for them.
So yeah, okay. Let me just pull this up on my phone so that I have it. Steer Academy, there we go. So I'll tell Steers avoid it because it's like that's gonna make me upset. No, they're totally like they're really fun. Like
It's good. It's like it's a very therapeutic kind of sad, if you know what I mean.
cathartic.
Cathartic, yeah. Where it's like, I don't know. They're very entertaining. They're very good. I have yet to feel so like bogged down by one of these books that I'm like, I need a break.
Yeah, like I think a lot of it. Like I mean, as a kid, I read a lot of them either from like the library or the public library, which is just reading it while your mom shops at Barnes and Noble.
Right.
Uh,
Yeah.
the American, damn it, and it, it, they're they're very good. They're a very easy read. I would implore you to go out of your way to read them. They are worth it. They're very smart. They're very witty. Um, they, as a kid, some of the stuff like the puzzles, like I was right there with Klaus, not figuring out uh, Olaf's schemes. Though I gotta say, um, except for Miserable Mill was the only one where I didn't see it right away because I forgot that he's just hiding in the mill as whatever her name was. Um,
Surely.
Shirley, that's right. Um,
Yeah.
but the like as a kid, you're like right there with them. Like once they figure out how Count Olaf's like, how are they gonna get out of this? As an adult, you see through shit so quickly, and it just makes you realize how incompetent the other adults are, and it makes you think about how incompetent adults in your own life have been, and that's when it's
Yeah.
sad.
Yeah, these books are very they never like talk down to the audience, and they're very like they have a deep
The author
empathy
doesn't.
for the reader. The author
Mhm.
doesn't, sorry.
Yeah, or
And like
narrator, author, same guy.
they're very kind to like the readers, and like almost doing like content warnings where it's like you said, where it's like things are about to get bad. If you want to stop now, that's fine. Okay, okay, and then it proceeds. Like
Yeah, yeah, almost always. Except
almost
for
always.
we didn't get a content warning before the one chick just stepped into a saw blade, but
Yeah, and died.
we just flipped the page and moved on.
Yep.
And like that was cool.
That's not this book. We
That's
can't
not.
talk
Yeah,
about it.
you're right. I just am referencing a previous episode here that longtime viewers will know.
Yeah.
The OGs in chat will know.
Me.
You, yeah, you and me. You are in chat. You're John Chat.
I am in chat right now.
Hell yeah. Ah! I'm on stream. Who would have thought? That's crazy. Oh,
Wow, you streaming? Who could have foreseen?
not me. Depending on the schedule, that's a good question. Mm-hmm.
When I was like 8 reading these books for the first time, I had a huge crush on Duncan Quagmire, and like the part where like Violet puts her hands on his chest, I was like, ah!
There is a lot of romantic tension, which
Right.
a part of me is like, are we pushing this on kids? But also, I think it's not so much that they have romantic connection. It's just this is the first time you realize in 4 books that anyone has shown these children genuine compassion as just like friends.
And
Eh,
it's nice. It's all very like sweet and innocent.
Yeah.
And it's never like,
Oh yeah, the good fuck. Let's go. No,
that's not what I was thinking. It's never like,
I mean either. To
these
be
kids
clear,
fell in love at 12, so they're gonna spend the rest of their lives together, which I feel like a lot of kids' books do, where it's like, well, they went to high school together, so they have to be in love, and it's like,
no, that's just a
yeah,
pivotal person. That's a cornerstone for you. Like that's
right.
a relationship, friendship that you're gonna remember and like enjoy and hold on to. Because yeah, they are very cute. Like the fact that like they're like, we'll go ahead and we'll pretend to be you. We got it to work, and it's just like they, without a second thought, were just like, we're helping our friends. Doesn't matter. There's a risk,
Yeah.
of course, but you're having to live with it regardless. So it's free for us to take the risk.
Right. The Quagmire triplets are so ride or die for the Baudelaire orphans.
It's
It's
kind
great.
of simpy.
I love it. A little bit, but we love to see it.
Yeah. Although, okay, so while I'm thinking of it, a very fun anecdote as to, well, not fun because it's how the Quagmires get busted. The Quagmires
Hmm.
get busted at the end for like pretending to be the Baudelaires off screen because they decide to use a sack of flour and some string to drag it along to make it seem like sunny because in the dark
Hmm.
at night when Coach Genghis, because like his whole plan is to get them tired to get expelled so that he can take the kids. That's it.
Right.
So he's this gym coach and uses religious reasons as a shield and stinky feet to not have to give away anything. The kids
Yeah,
run, they swap it. Yeah.
he's wearing a turban to hide his unibrow, and high top sneakers to hide his tattoo. And he's like, "Well, I can't take it off. My feet stink," which I'm sure they do because I don't think he's wearing socks. Yeah,
No.
I think explicitly he kicks off his shoes and he's not wearing socks.
He's a nasty little gremlin man.
Hmm.
And then Vice Principal Nero's like, well, I wouldn't want him sneaking up my office. So actually, that's fine. And it's like, okay.
Yeah.
But apparently, which part of me wants to believe that he's actually smarter. Like, Count Olaf is a lot smarter than he seems. Like, he's very clever. And I think that he saw through their ruse immediately, but still went
Yeah.
ahead and ran them. And then went and kicked the baby because he has never kicked Sonny. He would know that, like, he can't do that.
I don't know. I feel like that's pretty in character. He like put her in
Well, yeah,
birdcage in the first book and like threatens to kill her pretty frequently.
yeah, but I think even him, like, if he physically killed a baby,
Yeah, I think
I don't think he could be that active. If the kid ended up dying, that's not his fault. They should have survived if
right.
they wanted to.
I also don't think you could walk up to a bag of flour and still think it was a baby. You know what I mean?
But it is dark
Like,
outside.
no, because it had happened in the morning.
Oh. Oh, so it was like at the end of the
Because
night.
it like they were like dismissed, and so the Quagmire triplets ran away, and they accidentally left the bag of flour. So it was like, and he like lets them go at like dawn, so like the sun was rising.
Oh, I missed that. I missed that part. That makes a
So
lot more
I
sense now.
yeah.
Well, Count
So
Olaf is a
probably,
character, but he's good. He's also a very terrifying villain.
he's genuinely scary at points. Like when
Reptile
he
room
hits
with the
Klaus in
knife.
the first book, that's fucked.
Yeah, the abuse too. I forgot about that.
Yeah, he just
Not
straight
that
up
like,
abuses children, and people are okay with it.
yeah. Well, I
Yeah.
mean, they just couldn't really do much. Like, well, I shouldn't. That's defensive. Yeah, people didn't do anything about it. It's shitty.
People didn't care. The actors in his troupe didn't give a shit.
Well, yeah, because they're just in it for money.
Hmm.
Well, I think that this whole book is a really good criticism of the school system, standardized testing. I think that's why like I know you and I really like it. I feel like a lot of people who do read it and that did read it as kids do like this book because it is about
Hmm.
school. Aside from the fact that Proof Rock Prep is cool as fuck in terms of like the aesthetic and
Yeah.
school motto, memento mori, remember you will die.
Yeah.
It's like that's school. Yeah, school is where you go
It's
to die.
yeah, and I feel like on a kind of like allegorical level, the idea of teachers just like telling bullshit stories and expecting you to learn from that, or just like
Mm-hmm.
measuring random shit in the metric system to like teach
Measure.
you measure, and just like not understanding why you're being taught what you're being taught is a very like thing that kids relate to.
Yeah, you're not taught to like. It's like, well, when am I ever going to use this? Or like the applications, and they're like, well, you never know. It's like, no, what they're trying to say is like, you explain it to me, and like,
Right.
no one wants to take the time to explain it, or they don't know how, and it's like, you can just say that, and you'd be surprised that kids will go, oh, okay.
Hmm.
But otherwise I mean, at least as a kid, it always felt like people just assumed you were dumb.
Hmm. And at least in like my experience, the lessons that I learned that were like inherent, like very closely tied to real life things or were given like real life examples were always my favorites and like the ones that I remembered.
Yeah, they stuck it out with you because there's more to it to actually make
Hmm.
sense, and you're also told what to look out for. Like in the discussion panel over here, long finger.
Hmm.
Um, yeah,
No, this way. There we
yeah,
go.
there we go. Mr. Remora eating the banana. Violet's teacher just tells stories. He's the English teacher that just you have to just remember. It's like watching a video that has 50 things going on in it, and then you're gonna be quizzed on like what color was the boombox in this
Right. It was
scene.
like it's like one of those videos that's like pay attention to the guy in yellow, and then it's like, did you see the gorilla suit? And it's like, no, you told me to pay attention to the guy in yellow.
Yeah, so I was
Yeah.
watching him, and he's like, "Well, you're an idiot. You should have known there was a gorilla. I failed." Okay,
Yep.
okay. Um, yeah, they're just all stupid. Just the level of like the boomer energy in
Hmm.
this school was palpable. Like, well, Count Olaf can't get here. I've put it in the advanced computer system.
Computer system. Yeah.
And they're like, well, how is that gonna stop it? Well, if Count Olaf comes here, the computer system will be aware of it.
Yeah.
Will prevent it. How?
It's a yeah, and it's like it's not ever made clear if the computer system is like hooked up to call the police if someone who looks like Count Olaf shows up. It's kind of just like it'll recognize him, and then the computer will know.
It's very much of like Nero typed in what Count Olaf looked like into a Word document, saved it, and then said, yeah, it's in the advanced computer system because he was told it's an advanced computer
Right.
system. And it's like, how are you in such a high level position? You fucking moron. He's
Hmm.
also a violinist.
Yeah.
I mean,
He
anyway,
sure does. He sure does own a violin.
mm-hmm. He's a
Hmm.
violinish. He
He's
plays
a
it.
violinish.
Yeah,
Yeah.
my
He
favorite
certainly
Pokemon.
puts the bow down on the strings. I don't.
Yeah, at least one string
Yeah. I
for
can't say
six
anything
hours
more
a
about
night.
that. Yep.
Yeah. What other points you got?
Do you want to talk about the Beatrice lore that we got in
Always,
this
yeah,
book?
yeah. I want to talk about anything and everything. I'm like, otherwise I'll just keep talking about different parts of it, jumping around.
Yeah.
So the Beatrice
So
stuff.
yeah, Beatrice. She's the the author's like and the narrator's like ex something. He's very much in love with her. I don't think we ever get a concrete way on how she feels about him because it's
It
like
it seemed like he was in love with his best friend, sort of a vibe. It's kind
kinda,
of what I
and I
got from it.
I think it's implied at least in like later books that she marries someone else or like in earlier books something where it's like
Yeah, he mentioned that I think last book that she, or maybe it was this
right
one.
that like there was a wedding that
Hmm.
she and he's like I couldn't go to your wedding
Yeah, maybe that's a
because
later
it
book.
hurt too
Yeah,
much.
yeah, there was
I
a
don't know.
something there. Which makes me think that he's kind of just like in this deep state of like limerence basically, and like in
Hmm.
a weird way is like remembering her by following her kids because like spoiler
Yeah,
alerts, so these are
it's
all
Beatrice
spoilers.
Baudelaire.
Beatrice Baudelaire, it takes a very long I mean it does take a while to kind of piece it together to really figure out what it's trying to do, but yeah, it is, right? Like that is who it's supposed to be. It is Beatrice
Yeah,
Baudelaire. Okay.
it's
Yeah.
Beatrice Baudelaire. I don't know if we get it in this book, but someone at some point says the name Beatrice Baudelaire, and we only know one dead Baudelaire who's a woman. We only
Named
know one
Beatrice.
person named Beatrice.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. We didn't know that she was Beatrice. That's right.
Yeah. We don't ever get the orphans their parents' names, I don't think. Like explicitly, but
Yeah, I don't think so. I wonder if they do have
I'm sure they like have them. I just don't think it's ever because the children almost always refer to them like as our parents, our mother, our father.
one. That's true.
Which like is normal, I guess. That's how I refer to my parents. Like
Yeah, they just parent one, parent two, parent three, like.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Um, there's all these additions. I was hoping there'd be more Beatrice lore in the little trivia section, but there was not.
But
But
like every dedication is to Beatrice. What's this one? For Beatrice, you will always be in my heart, in my mind, and in your grave. So like I feel like
yeah,
every dedication is kind of like along those lines of like, Beatrice, I love you so much. You're dead.
yeah, like I love you even after death. Like this is my way of
Yeah.
mourning you in a way. Um, and it's like weirdly deep tied to all the VFD stuff, which is
Yeah. And we
now
get a
where it's
little bit
starting
of
to come into it.
yeah, we get a little bit of that in this book, not only with the Quagmire triplets shouting VFD as they're
Mm-hmm.
kidnapped, and the orphans find out that that's like important to Count Olaf, but like in one of his like asides, he talks about talking to Beatrice about Count Olaf and like trying to warn her, but it's like too late.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so we
And
get
so
some fun lore there.
we get the first inklings that all of these things are connected,
Yeah,
which I'm
that's
so excited about and I'm so excited for.
this like the VFD stuff is like I think when we were first talking about it was the thing we were cracked about because like
Mm-hmm.
who the fuck talks about it? I'm not
Who the
googling
fuck
it.
talks about it? And it's like I didn't understand it as a kid. I don't know if I'll understand it any better now.
Well, a lot of it is like meant to not like understand, but
Yeah,
also like
it's written in a way where it's like when it mentions like the sugar bowl, the schism, it's like, well, you already know about that, and it's
mm-hmm.
like, no, I don't, and it's like, you already know about that.
Well, I think yes, that is exactly how it is. You're correct. Yes. I know
Yeah.
with the sugar bowl they do make a specific like there's a line in the like I think it's in the end where the book called the end book 13 where they like Lemony talks about how like the sugar bowl whether or not the sugar bowl is an actual sugar bowl or like a euphemism doesn't really change anything.
Right.
Like
People still died over it.
yeah, like we might as well just call it the sugar bowl like regardless of what the sugar bowl represented, you know
Mm-hmm.
which is
I
fascinating.
I'm starting to remember stuff from later books, specifically about like Beatrice and Lemony, and it's already fucking me up, man.
Oh yeah, like
Yeah.
ooh.
Like that whole like monologue he goes on where he's like, I will love you if I see you tomorrow, and every day after that, I'll love you if I never see you again. That one fucks me up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because it's like, bro, you a simp, but also those are real feelings, and like, I can't just necessarily dismiss them either.
And it's like it's clearly so deep because it's like these feelings of love have they lasted through Beatrice getting married to someone else and having 3 children with him, and then also her death. Like she's dead, and he still loves her, and it's like that's very like impactful to me.
No, yeah, yeah,
Yeah, fucked up, man.
it is fucked up. Shit, I don't know what to say to it. I'm
Mhm.
like, yeah, it is. It really is.
Mhm.
I wish there's I just want to get more. Like once we get into them, where we can start ripping them
Yeah,
apart. Because them
straight up.
shouting VFD at the end is like, because I think the kids, the Duncan and Isadora, were like, we gotta tell them something. They gotta read the notebooks. I wish the kids read the
Yeah,
fucking notebooks. I don't remember if they do or not.
at least not in this book they don't,
Mm,
and not in the next one, I'm sure.
yeah. But like knowing VFD and the fact that it's starting to become a thing is like what's going on, and you start to realize like that VFD was being hinted at and referenced up to this point. One other thing, do you think that Count Olaf is the one who burnt down the Baudelaire mansion?
We talked about this last time where it's like he brings up arson as like one of or like we talked about this during White Window when
Mm-hmm.
he mentions that he's an arsonist where it's like I don't know. It doesn't necessarily strike me as like he did it. I wouldn't be surprised if he
Yeah.
did,
For the
but
levels of
like
death, it almost seems too obvious, but that might also.
right. it's like one of those things where it's like it's either too obvious or like so obvious that you overlook it, and that's the real like hidden in plain sight kind of,
Uh,
you know what I mean?
because I think
I
in
don't
this,
know.
I don't know either, man. Like the Quagmire triplets talk about at one point where they're trying to like, yeah, we found this out, we found this out. Oh, and about your parents, and then they get cut off, and they have to like deal with something else, and it just is like,
They're like in the process of getting kidnapped.
oh, that's what it was. They were getting
Yeah,
kidnapped.
they're in the middle of being shoved into a car, um, by the two pale women.
Who are I think we're just lunch people, right? They were
Yeah.
just with the masks, which like makes sense. They were all wearing masks.
Mhm.
Okay. Um, yeah, I think that's the only VFD reference I was looking on the wiki. Um, there is some interesting like references to the real world with name illusions.
Yeah, there's a lot of like Greek or and like Roman with like Nero, who's like famously played his fiddle while Rome burned.
Oh
And like
yeah, that's right. And like he would
yeah,
do those long, yeah, like that's what I'm reading here.
he
It's like,
forced yeah, he forced people to like go to his concerts or like watch him play the fiddle, and he was like the mad Roman emperor or whatever. And then when hold on, I dog-eared the page so I could look back at it.
oh,
Um yeah, so when Isadora and is talking and like the Quagmire triplets are talking with the Baudelaire orphans for the first time, they're kind of like all introducing themselves, and it's like Klaus is a reader, Violet is an inventor, Duncan wants to be a reporter, and Isadora says, "Well, I'm a poet," and Sunny goes, "Sappho," who's the Greek poet.
oh, that's so funny. Oh, I didn't even know that.
Yeah,
Oh, I'm
yeah,
seeing it
she's
here too. Oh, hell yeah.
yeah,
You're so
Sappho wrote a
smart,
bunch of like
Kale.
well, Sappho wrote a bunch of gay poetry is why I know her, and
So
that's
you
where the
still
term
know
like
her. Still smart. You're smart and gay.
sapphic and like that's where like lesbian comes from because it's Sappho of Lesbos.
Oh, you hear that,
Yeah.
lesbians? You're welcome.
Mm-hmm.
A baby referenced it.
Right. And so
That was stupid. Oh. Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Yeah. Word bomb. Yeah.
Mm.
That's it. Yeah.
Those
Sappho,
are my
Lesbos.
notes.
Okay.
Sappho, lesbian, and she was like a
Lesbian.
poet, and
Yeah. No. Very good. Yeah.
Memento Mori is Latin. Lots of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Lots of stuff.
Latin. Or I guess just yeah. I don't know. The Quagmire's Isadora Duncan is the inventor of modern American modern dance.
Okay.
Oh, so that's what the like their names Isadora and Duncan of the
Mm-hmm.
Quagmires reference one person. She was strangled to death in a freak accident in France when her
She was
long
what?
so Isadora Duncan, a real person, the inventor of American modern dance, she was strangled to death in a freak accident in France when her long flowing scarf became entangled in the wheel of
Oh,
the
in like
car
the
she was
car.
riding.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
That's crazy.
That's horrific. Okay. What a thing to reference in a children's book.
Yeah. I'm yeah. That's correct. Cuz like that's all this book is. That's all these books are. It's like really weird, fucked up oh, this is a bit complex for a kid. It's like, yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't get that as when I was a kid. I guess I didn't get that now either, but
Oh. No. I didn't get it either. This
okay.
is the first book in the series where no one explicitly dies, apparently, according to the trivia.
Yeah. Okay. I think
Although,
that checks out.
yeah, Miss Tench may be dead because she accidentally fell out of a third-story window a few days ago, but we don't actually like get confirmation.
Well, that
Oh,
wasn't on screen, so it
that's
doesn't happen.
you're right, exactly. I have three little pieces of trivia that are left.
All right, hit me.
The UK cover of this book came with a rap band with these lines. So like, I'm thinking that's
Yeah.
just like the ticker, right? Okay. Uh, a quote. My dad says reading one of these books is better than chopping onions. Amanda from Minnesota. Uh, it is quite flattering that you think I might be Louis Satcher, but unfortunately for me, I am not. Lemony Snicket. Uh,
It's funny.
then the third one is I prefer The Littlest Elf. Count Love.
That's funny. That's cute.
That's so cute. Oh, I love that. And this movie, like this book's just a nightmare. It is such a
Yeah.
pleasure to read in a way that's not fun, but it's just like um there's it is really hard to not get like hung up on all the little parts of the books. Like there's so
Mhm.
much personality in the academy, which I think is why it's like why
Right.
I love it so much compared to the other ones. Is like this one has a lot going on in
We
it
haven't
behind
even
the
talked
scenes.
about like the rules of the academy.
Yeah, which I don't know if we'll see. Probably
Hmm.
not. But it's been like 50 minutes already, so uh, I think. Did you have any more notes that you wanted to discuss?
No, those are all my notes.
Yeah. Um. I think the only measure. Uh.
Sure.
If Count Olaf can fool an advanced computer, he can fool an average banker. Which was one of the best reads that they ever give. They called the vice. What is it? He's the vice president of coins at
Right.
mortuary
Mortuary money management.
management. And it's like, how dare they? Respect to Mr.
Budget.
Poe. Said
I don't know about
nobody.
that. Yeah, I feel like calling Mr. Poe an average banker is like a little bit more than he deserves, quite honestly.
Yeah. yeah, that's it. I agree. So, but yeah, otherwise, it was really good. It was really fun to go back into
It was
it.
really good.
Um,
It's still one of my favorites.
yeah,
I think I
it's
would rank this one just under Wide Window,
ooh,
but above Reptile Room, Miserable Mill, and The Bad Beginning.
okay. Yeah, I think I would slot this also under Reptile Room.
Okay.
Well, no, I put this one above Reptile Room, but Reptile Room is very close.
It's
So
very good. It has
mm,
the best song.
it really does. We played it.
Yeah.
I played it the other day. I played it in the video.
Yeah.
Mm. Um.
In Reptile Room, my baby screams, cries. I don't remember. I really like that song. It's like genuinely on one of my playlists,
It's
but
very good. Here, I'll play it here.
yeah.
I don't know if you can hear it.
No.
No, that's okay.
All right. Well,
We'll
I can
play
hear
we'll
it
play
whenever
it
I
once we're
want.
done. Yeah, you're
Okay.
right. You're right. You got internet.
Mhm.
Cool. Is it orphan ranking time?
I think it's orphan ranking time.
Orphan ranking time. It's the best. Boop. So, Kale, do you want to explain the orphan ranking and what that really means?
Right. So each of the orphans play a different part in the plot, and we decide how like
Cool.
important they are with a rankings. From typically it's from 1 to 3 because there's only 3 orphans, but today we have 2 new orphans to add to our lovely little roster, so it's going to be 1 through 5 or 1 through 4 if we want to rank the Quagmire triplets together.
No, no,
Okay.
because we don't put the other orphans together. So if
That's
everyone
true.
gets delivered on their merits. That being said, I would assume most of the time that Duncan and Isadora will just kind of like share a place, just kind of being predictive. But I think we can.
Well, if
We're
they're in the
allowed to
book.
split them. Yeah.
Right. Um. Where do we want to start?
Well, let's go. Let's go youngest to oldest. Sonny.
Youngest to oldest. Sunny. Um. you know, usually we have to rank Sunny pretty low because she's a baby. She doesn't do much.
Except for Wide Window.
Yes, except for Wide Window, where she's the MVP. But I do think I'm going to give her a solid, like a 3 in this book because I think this making staples and having beef with crabs is very, very impressive for a baby.
I mean, honestly, like, I think we can all relate to Sunny. I think we all have to just make staples and have beef with crabs in our own ways.
Right.
And, like, she was real for
Every
it.
day.
And she also referenced Sappho, now that I think about that, and that gives her an extra point. She didn't not do anything, which was good. Yeah, actually, I feel pretty confident with 3. I think that's really good, actually.
I think 3 is a good ranking for her.
I might go. I'll save my opinion, but that might be the highest ranked Baudelaire for me.
Yeah, I know, I agree, because I think I don't think the number 1 and number 2 spot can go to anyone else besides the Quagmire triplets. They got fucking kidnapped.
Yeah.
They figured out VFD in book 5 out of 13.
Or at least they know about, like, they know something.
They know something.
It's a lot more than anyone else does. Who would you rank above below? Oh, they kept watch.
Yeah, sorry, I was still giving them accolades.
Yeah,
like,
my bad. Keep
watch
going.
over the Baudelaires. They helped them with their plan. They formulated the plan. They shared silverware when they had none. Yeah. The number 1 and number 2 spot have to go to them. I want to rank Duncan higher because I had a crush on him as a kid, and that's completely subjective. So Duncan goes to number 1. Isadora goes from me. Isadora goes to number 2. And then Sunny in 3rd. And then our 4th and 5th slots, which are not bad, to be clear. It's no shame getting 5th when the competition is this stacked.
Well, yeah, of course.
Yeah.
I gotta say that I put Isadora above Duncan.
What's your reasoning?
You ready for the most obscure, insane reasoning you've heard? I might need to stand up.
Okay. You do whatever you need, man.
Yeah, let me... Look. Oh, man, I could just stream like this? Oh, hell yeah. Oh, I didn't even think about this.
In the void.
In the void. In the void tile room.
Yep.
Okay. All right. So check this shit. This is great. Also, on a side note, I look like I sell cars.
You look like you're about to pitch me the ShamWow.
This bad boy can fit so much trauma in it. Where is it?
He's just gone.
This bad boy can fit so much trauma in it, let me tell you. Isadora is ranked number 1 because for what I now will realize, it's been 23 years of my life. I turned 30 on Sunday. And this book series came out shortly before that, or shortly after my birthday in 2000. Or this book did. Isadora is a poet, and sometimes like writes her little poems, although they're mostly like limericks, kind of, or like one-liners.
Couplets. They're couplets.
And
you stupid idiot. She fucking tells you what they are.
I know, but I'm a stupid idiot, so please forgive. But okay, first of all, I may be dumb, but I respect art because I think about Count Olaf, Rice Pilaf. It's a half rhyme. And I think about that, I shit you not, at least once or twice a week for the last like 20 years since I've read the book.
It just lives rent-free in your head.
100% rent-free. There's not like, if I see something with rice, like rice-a-roni at the store, I'll be like, Count Olaf, Rice Pilaf. And then just keep walking.
Yeah.
Oh, is it pilaf?
Okay, that's fair. It's, well, I pronounce it pilaf. Hi, Zuki. Hi, sweet boy. Hi, little man. Hi, little void. He's got He's got fighting hands. Hi, baby. Hello. If Penny were here, I would show her.
Aww. Yeah.
But she's outside right now.
Mm-hmm.
He got a little tongue.
Yeah. Oh. Okay, buddy.
All right. I'm fine with that reasoning.
Yeah, so that's my reasoning. It's just I happen to remember it, and like otherwise, yeah, like Duncan and Violet are adorable. So
Yeah.
I don't know. They're just the kids are very sweet. If I may jump ahead a little bit, Klaus is last place.
Yeah, that's fine. I'm fine. I feel like when we started this series, we're like, Sunny's gonna be in last place a lot, at least till the later books, because she's a baby. And then it's just been Klaus in last place.
We had Klaus in last place a lot. Oh,
I think so. Because I think we
That's
put him in last place last time.
mm-hmm.
And because he got hypnotized, stupid idiot. And then he was definitely in last place in Wide Window. Or no, not Wide Window. Because he had the.
No, he was
place.
Goat, yeah.
He was definitely in last place in Reptile Room.
Mm-hmm.
So like that's 3 out of 5 at least.
Yeah. Well, and actually he did worse than third this time. He got 5th. Which is, fair. It's not that he's like bad in it or dumb. Like the truth is that like the whole kind of point of this book is that like the Baudelaires don't solve their problems in this one.
Right.
All of their problems, like they put metal stuff on their shoes to like tap dance the crabs away. Which God, I wish. Oh, to dance the crabs away.
Quite honestly, if I could get rid of the crabs with just a little bit of interpretive dance,
it would be.
I'd be
set. You'd be set.
Yep.
You'd be cooking.
But alas, real life is not that simple.
Poor York. And Violet's fine.
Violet's good, and I think it's just like when we measure up against like their specific skill sets of like Klaus can read and Violet invents things, like it's just like the invention is always a little bit more, just like a little bit more, always to me.
Yeah. Well,
so it's like.
Yeah, there are times I think where she's only able to invent because Klaus's reading and comprehension skills.
That's not like a hard and fast rule. Like again in Wide Window. He took the number 2 spot, I think it was. Well, I'll have to go back and look. Because he
they were all
he solved like the grammar riddle.
Mm-hmm.
And that was very impressive to me.
Yeah, it was. I didn't even solve it correctly as an adult who had time.
Yeah.
I still fucked it up a little bit. So it was very impressive. Hi, buddy.
So in order, we have number 1 and number 2 go to the Quagmire triplets interchangeably. I think it's fine to have either as the number 1.
Yeah, my difference was mostly just to bring up that point and just so that we could have a little bit of like, rivalry. That was it. Just for spice.
Number 3 we have Sunny, 4 Violet, 5 Klaus. I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
Cool.
And honestly, we could even put Klaus and Violet tied for 4th. I think it would actually be a much more appropriate compromise because I don't think that either of them were necessarily better or worse than the other. Like, they just clearly, like, nothing was going to go right for them in this. And that, like that they just were dealt a bad hand. So it kind of sucks, but it was good because we got to showcase better orphans.
It was, dare I say, a series of unfortunate events for these 2 orphans.
Where is it? I have it. I did the MLG air horns.
Okay, yeah, I can't hear it.
I know. But just know that I did.
Okay.
So.
Thank you.
Yeah. But yeah, that sounds good to me. Austere Academy, 10 out of 10. Perfect book.
Yep.
And that's it. I think I'm good. Are you good?
I'm good.
Okay. Thank you everybody for watching and for everyone in stream here that was live. I guess real quick, do you guys have any questions? We kind of just like didn't give that, but I think for the next one, if we want to do a similar
Yeah.
format, we can let people know ahead of time, and they can kind of, this was
They can
very
read
last
the
minute.
book.
Yeah, we can
Yeah.
read the book.
Mhm.
But
Book
anywho,
reading stream.
yeah. Thank you, Kale. Appreciate it.
Mhm.
And thank you,
Glad to be
everybody.
here.
We'll see you guys soon.